Hi guys, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing?
Ooh, we were looping there for a little bit. Go ahead, now it's your turn.
Hi, what's up? Like and
Ooh,
subscribe.
We were looping there for a little bit. Go ahead, now it's your turn.
Hi, what's up? Like and
Ooh,
subscribe.
We were looping there for a little bit. Go ahead, now it's your turn.
Hi, what's up? Like and
Ooh,
subscribe.
We were looping there for a little bit. All right, we figured out the problem. So here we go. Start it over, LJ.
What's up? You guys gotta like, subscribe, ring the bell.
All right, let's go. Time.
No. Smash it.
Smash that bell. Smash that like bell. There's LJ. All right. We figured out what the problem was. It wasn't a loop. I just sent a message out on Twitter. So to make sure you're watching the show. Are you getting on, or what? Are you moving your chair over? Are you coming on, or what? You going to talk about hockey or basketball today, or rugby, or soccer? All right, we'll talk a little football. So make sure you are liking, subscribing, like LJ said.
I just said that.
Make sure, so every day you'll be able to watch all the shows on Match Wagers Network.
Just so you know, there's only one every day.
No, there's a lot of shows. We have 6 shows now. One of them, now everything is on the Max Wagers.
6 shows every day.
I only do one, but there's 6 hours of programming from 12 o'clock until 6 o'clock every day. There's 6 different shows, and there's also some bonus shows on when there's Formula One races, and some bonus soccer shows starting soon.
No one's on.
It's tricky. Sometimes they'll say 0, and then there'll be 15 people watching. So people are watching. You just don't know. But here's the thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Starting, we talked about this yesterday. Starting in like late July, we'll start doing stuff all the time on Saturday mornings. As LJ gets ready to go to soccer practice over there he's got a little pitch in the yard, right? We'll be able to do some Saturday, some games on Saturday. So, hey, how are you? Good. So just make sure you stay tuned to that. All right. So remember, you got 6 hours of programming. Midday Money, Sean Higgs at noon. Morning Wood, Allie Burns, 1 to 2. Just Parlays with Chris King, 2 to 3. Now, remember, all these shows are on the Max Wagers Network, right? Max Wagers YouTube. Go to Max Wagers on the YouTube. That's where you can find all this programming. And if you miss it, say you miss my show, because we're talking about games a lot of times the next day, you can watch it anytime. Tonight, you can watch it 3 a.m. You can watch it all over the world. It doesn't matter as long as you're watching it before the games kick off, right? What's the difference when you watch it? Of course, you want to watch it live and help me out and hit the like and subscribe button. But it is what it is. Just make sure you watch them. Back to the window, Scott and Scott. 4 o'clock me, 5 o'clock game time decisions. Remember, you get $1,100 first bet insurance with Caesars Sportsbook. Place a first-time wager up to $1,100. Get it back in the form of free bet. If you lose, you must use our promo code ATSWINS. CZR links are in the show box below. Okay. I was going to say, our guests saw LJ, the betting intern over here, betting genius intern LJ, already involved in the show. So, hi, there's betting intern Davey, ready to go out there and wrestle or play some soccer. I'm not sure. So at the bottom of the screen will be the guest tomorrow. We're gonna have a really big guest. I'm really excited. He's my guy. We go back a ways. I think it's probably back to 2014. I mean, he's massive, man. Adam McCullough is massive all over the world. If you're a Manchester United fan, you know who he is. If you're now he's involved in so many other projects. He plays a little poker. He does a lot of different things, and he's kind of a man of many talents. So he's going to be really interesting to talk to. We're going to get his, I put the futures ads here for next year. We're going to start talking. We're going to start getting into these futures. I'll be honest with you right now. These UEFA Nations League games, you just don't know. It's hard to bet these games. And look at that, Australia got an 84th minute goal to win. That's a winner for us. Winner, Australia. Hope you took them. Hope you took them live right there at 1-1 because that probably played. We got Germany up 1-0 against England. Italy, Hungary's 2-1. It's just, you just don't know. Turkey's up 3-0 against Lithuania. We gave you that game yesterday. So we're doing pretty well with the games from yesterday. So that's pretty cool. Remember, we're going to talk a little rugby today. But, getting back to that point, these games, you just don't. You can handicap them. I can handicap them. As someone who's watched a billion games, like legitimately on the weekends when I go, I don't if I have to work, say like sometimes I cover football games and stuff, and I have the website and we cover the high school stuff. Hey Bill, how you doing? I'm on Turkey and Germany. It's not going to be turkey sandwiches for you, Bill, tonight. It's going to be filet mignon if you're on that bet. If you're on Turkey, yeah, Turkey is that was a good play. They have no business being in that group, to be honest. They should dominate that group. You have to remember too, because this is only the first window, right? There's going to be other windows, so remember back. We'll remind you obviously, but when the next. I don't know when let's see when the schedule is. I think it's September is the match day. Match day 3 might be. Match day 3 is like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, stuff like that. But match day 4. Oh wow, and they're playing match day 4. I guess they're just playing all these games until they're done. Match day 5 and 6 are September, end of September as a prequel to like the World Cup. So just, if you remember these games, Turkey's probably going to dominate these teams. Just remember it for the weekend and just remember it for next week. So we'll remind you, but once again. But, just getting back to McCullough quickly, he's going to come on and maybe give you, what he thinks about the futures for next year. I have some of the odds scrolling at the bottom here. We're going to go Arsenal 6,600. Haha, I laughed. I like the Newcastle odds a little bit. If you see who they're trying to sign, I think Newcastle is going to be top 6. They're going to pass some of these teams. It's a huge window for Manchester United because they're close to being passed by some of these teams. But I also think they're really close. If 4 or 5 of these guys in the academy pan out, they're really close to being an elite team, I think. So we'll talk to him about all kinds of stuff, but some futures. And I think the schedule release is coming out. Maybe we'll we'll get him back on. I think the schedule is released on June 21st, possibly. June 21st, June 16th. So we're 9 days away. It's going to be 4 a.m. I will be up at 4 a.m. to try to stream that stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, obviously, and going forward. But, let's just kind of get to the action for tomorrow. We'll see. I know a lot of you are going to be tuning in to watch to see the rugby picks, and I think it's going to be interesting today. But let's just start with the share screen, and let's just start with these Nations League games in play once again. Let me pull this up. Live score. I'll get you some updates for these games if they come through. But you see Australia here, 84th minute winner. So that's big for if you had Australia today. And I know we gave you that yesterday. So, kudos. All right. So you got tomorrow, the Republic of Ireland, Ukraine game. Some people are talking about that. I would not. Ukraine just lost the worst possible way to own goal in a tough game against Wales. Same thing with Wales. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Tomorrow for these games, my main play would be right here. I would be on the Netherlands. You see the Netherlands has scored 3-2-2. I mean, 100 years ago, these games. So you can't take a lot of that. But, minus 157. I would probably take a chance on plus 215 and over 2.5 goals. But what I would do is take the Asian line and go probably -1. -1 at minus 114. I've seen it at minus 10. I've seen it at minus 8. I've seen it all the way up at minus 120. So I think on that game, look, once again, the players are probably still celebrating. By celebrating, I mean probably drunk. So they're going to be, they just finished a brutal year. They qualified for the World Cup. There's 100% chance that most of the team was out partying all night. Look, man, I don't know how you guys and girls and women and men out there are in that Turkey team total. That's right, AM Turkey team total. I don't know how you feel. If I have 2 drinks now, I feel like death for 2 days. So these guys got to go out and play a match against a really good Netherlands team who's going to come in and try to get ready for this World Cup. You listen to Van Hol talk about this. I really like the Netherlands -1 in this game. You're almost over 2.5 or Netherlands over 2.5. You get a little bit, obviously a lot more value with Netherlands over 2.5. The team total over 2, the total goals over 2.5 might be a safer play because Wales will score, because they got the Netherlands defense are attack, and if you saw Van Dijk get spun 50 times in that Champions League final, you'll know. So I think that's the play, but I like Netherlands a lot in this game. Of those games Wednesday, Belgium, Poland. Look, I have no idea what to think. I know Am is watching, Plus Money is watching, and they got drilled by Netherlands on Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was. So, I would think there'd be a response. I'm not sure how good Poland is. I know they're playing. They haven't played. They've only played they've played 5 times, and one of them was back in 1967, which is crazy. Maybe Belgium over 1.5 goals, but you're laying 148. If you're comfortable laying minus 148 with these, that's your preference. I don't love to do that. I might try to find a different way to do it. Maybe over. You probably can't parlay these two, but I mean, you can. They give you minus 115. It's really not worth it. I guess it's like a same game parlay, but you're probably better off parlaying. If you're going to do that, to be honest, you're probably better off parlaying Belgium with like Netherlands, because you get plus 140. Look at that. Minus 190, minus 177. If you do the same game parlay, you get them. You get still minus money. If you do with worse odds, Belgium and Netherlands money line, you get plus 140. That would probably be the better play, to be honest. So, let's see if there's any scores here. Live score. Let's go back. Germany. No score. Okay. So tough without knowing lineups. Hungary through a curve. Yeah, look, I think get this ad off here. It's these games, it's hard to know which teams are motivated by what. This is just my opinion, but I'm pretty smart, so sometimes my opinion is the truth. Just kidding. But for teams like Belgium, Netherlands, I think is trying to gear up because of they were in a little bit of a down cycle. So now they're trying to gear up, and they really legitimately have a decent chance to go deep in this tournament. They are very talented, so for a team like that, I think, and Belgium, who, obviously made it to the semifinal last year and lost 1-0 to an TD goal in the second half, and really, could have gone either way that game, right? If Belgium gets to the final, Belgium's probably the world champion right now. And you still have a French-speaking team winning it, but it's in the, you're just, for some of these other teams like Ukraine, what are they playing for right now? They just lost the World Cup player. What's the point? Why are they just trying to get out there and shake off the loss? To be honest, this might be a place that, and here's the thing, Ukraine is good. This Ukraine team is good. They're very talented. If they were in another group or they had to place another team in the playoff, maybe they get to the World Cup. Remember, they got to the quarterfinals. This might be a spot to take Ireland. I don't know how good Ireland is. I know, we got some of my guys watching he's not watching on Twitter now because Steven's suspended, but this might be a shot to take a chance with Republic of Ireland. I can't imagine Ukraine is going to be ready to play this game. But they have to. So, I wouldn't bet a lot on this game. Once again, I don't know how much, I know just Bill, I know you've said some amounts and whatever, for me, when I'm doing these parlays, I'll just be transparent. I'll usually bet $30, $40 on a parlay. If it's a live in play game, I'll bet if I have a feeling, say it's 2-0 and I have a feeling that Manchester United's going to come back and win they did 3-2 that one time. And sometimes I watch the games and I have a feeling, and sometimes you just get that gut feeling. Remember, gut is your second brain. You have to listen to your gut. I'll bet, $20 at plus 1,000. And, sometimes you win the bet and you win $200 and you're like, man, I should have bet more. I'm so mad I didn't bet more. Well, no, you got to be happy you won $200. It's like a free $200. Just this mentality. And I know the show is about, betting and soccer and whatever else we talk about. But you need to, I think that you have to know like when to go for it and when to kind of, I'm going to take a chance. Like this Ireland game, you know what? Throw $20 on it. If it loses, $20. If it wins, you're up, $35. Whatever. I wouldn't throw like $100 on it because I don't know. Like, if you're confident, you could do that. But like, when I go on the ESPN, we talk on the ESPN show. I mean, that guy Joe Wiz, who's on the show, my co-host, he's got people betting with him that that bet $1,000 a game or 5 dimes a game. I mean, these guys bet a lot of money, and for them, if remember from Casino when the guy, the jet was. He stopped the jet from going. The whale was leaving, and he's being cautious because he was already up a lot of money. But he was like, but I know these guys. They didn't think about losing. They didn't think about winning 500 a hand. They thought about losing 10,000 because they were only betting $50 or $500 instead of $5,000 a hand. So it is what it is. Like you do you. Remember, you have to bet responsibly and bet with your heart and all that stuff. But if you're betting, I will tell you, like when we start doing like the NRL stuff, the rugby things, I'll tell you, like, listen, man, I really like this parlay. So maybe you bet a little bit more on that. I'm not sure if you're betting any of these African Cup of Nations. I'll be honest, I really, really try to stay away from those games unless I know those games. Every time I bet them, it's like I get screwed by like a late goal. It's really tough to bet them. We'll look here at the U21s. It's really, really tough to bet those. Okay, so who is Finland playing? Croatia is playing Estonia. Okay, here's a good one. This is a really good one. Croatia is playing Estonia right now, U21s. And you see the form guide for Croatia. Not great. Estonia has played 9 games. They have 0 points, minus 28 goal difference. Croatia has played 9 games, 19 points, plus 11 goal difference. Norway's only played 8 games and has a plus 18 or 18 points. So Croatia needs to win this game. And Finland plays Norway next. So one of those teams will not go. One of those teams will get knocked off. So Croatia needs to win this game with the biggest amount of goals possible. They have to win the game, right? Of course they will. The last time they played, Croatia played Estonia. Oh, it was only 2-0. Oh, how about that? So I want to try to look at this, see total goals. Total goals by Croatia, U21, over 3.5. Croatia scored 5 against. Croatia lost last time 3-2 to Norway. Croatia scores goals when they play. They lost 3-2 to Finland, by the way, too. Croatia scores goals. They give up a lot. So they need to win this game. I like this play here. Over 3.5 goals by Croatia U21s. The way it's setting up right now, if Croatia wins with a big goal difference, 22 points, and then Norway and Finland tie, Norway could win the group on the last day. Finland could too. Croatia has to win this game and has to win it big. They're not going to stop if it's 2-0, 3-0. They got to keep scoring goals. I like this play over 3.5 at -105. I think that's pretty interesting. I would even I don't think you need to take this over 3.75. There's really no point. You're better off taking this. You get better odds, right? And there's no, if you can find a line on the game, sometimes with the U21 games when it's -2,000, I think we talked about this last week when I was at the softball game. You can't find those lines, but other apps give them. So I will take a chance on Croatia over 3.5 goals. And if you can find Croatia like -2.5, -3 at decent value, you can bet that as well. Moldova and Switzerland. Oh, look at this group. Wow. Switzerland has to win. Netherlands is playing Wales. Netherlands right now is on 23 points, 28 goal difference, plus 28. Switzerland is on 22 points, plus 16 goal difference. 25 points will probably see them through to the next stage. It's not automatic. It's possible qualification. So, but 25 points. If you get through, if you have 10 games, 25 points, you're going through, especially with the goal difference. So now goal difference becomes big, right, in this game. Now, Moldova isn't terrible. 11 points, but a -5 goal difference. So I'm going to go look, and you're probably going to be able to get this. Over 2.5 goals by Switzerland. So Switzerland beat them 3-0 last time and 3-1 when they played in 2006. And then, the last few games, Switzerland beat Bulgaria 1-0. They lost to the Netherlands, so that's whatever. They beat Wales 5-1. They beat Moldova 3-0. So I'm going to take a chance on over 2.5 goals here. This is probably actually going to be a pretty good parlay. Let me just look at this parlay here. And then U21. We'll look at this Croatia over 3.5. That pays plus 327. Wow, I like that. Now that game, this is parlay I actually like. So that's actually interesting. We'll look at some of these other ones, but I do like in that game. Now it's only -385, so you're going to be able to get probably you can only get first half. How about that? And only the totals. I'll try to find a line on that if you can. That's definitely worth looking for. Okay. Slovenia against Andorra. Oof, look at that line. I don't even have this listed. Oh, it's Thursday. That's why. We'll talk about those tomorrow. We'll look at this Sweden, Italy, Ukraine, France game tomorrow. Obviously I'll be on France, U21s. Just don't bet the France national team.
Who's winning Russia, you think?
The war? It's even. Ukraine just lost the World Cup, though. They didn't go to the World Cup. So for tomorrow, I think both those games at 12 o'clock. Now, these are early starts, so make sure, maybe you jump on them tonight. So that's a pretty decent parlay right there. Over 2.5 goals by Switzerland and over 3.5 goals by Croatia. And I'm going to take a picture of that right now and send it to my guy, Rick Fortenbaugh, he's going to start coming on and maybe next week as soon as the high school season is over. So, but I like that play. So I think you can find a little value in those U21 games. I think it's been pretty impressive the last few. Still 1-0. Southgate out. I think it's been pretty impressive the last the last week. I think you're almost and this is the strategy again. It's easier for me to look at these U21 games and say, this is what has to happen because, once again, the national team games. I mean, they're all if these smaller countries, if you're any good, you're probably playing. Like if you're a phenom, you're playing on the national team. You're not playing on the U21. So the U21 team's a little bit lesser of a level. But a team like France or Croatia, who's stacked at the national team level, sometimes they'll have players that have really no business. If they played in another country, they'd be on it. They'd be on the national team. But maybe for this tournament, they're down there playing with the younger players to try to, get some experience in a tournament and, get the team togetherness and all this stuff. So for Croatia, this next level comes through. Look, Croatia got to the World Cup final. I mean, never happened, right? They never got to the World Cup final before. I mean, they weren't even a country back in, that's Yugoslavia, but, right? Croatia wasn't Croatia and 20, 30 years ago. So it's pretty interesting. But I think you can find sometimes easier to find value at that U21 level. Talked a little bit, there's the Asian Cup. I'm looking at the Argentina Cup and everything's, let me see if they even have it listed. Argentina, the Cup. Like every game is banged for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they moved it to another day or something like this. I don't know who's with the teams here. To be honest, I'm not usually going to look at that as much. Maybe I'll look here at I'm not betting. These leagues are really tough to bet right now. The Nations League, they don't have, so the CONCACAF Nations League, they don't have the USA game up for Friday. They're playing Grenada. Remember the last time USA played Grenada in 1983, the game was over in 30 minutes. Get it? I said that last night. One of the people understood. But the other person watching was the other Meg McDonald, who hosts the show, is a little bit younger. She probably, I don't even know if she was born when U.S. invaded Grenada back in '83. Ronald Reagan. I remember it being all over the news, and we won the war after Vietnam and some of the other stuff and the hostage crisis. I remember hanging stuff up. I was like 4 or 5 years old back then. I remember hanging stuff up on our windows, like on our garage windows, 440 some days or something like this. And then Reaganomics came in and all this stuff. Anyway, these games, Grenada's playing El Salvador. It's why it's not listed. El Salvador was just in the hexagonal, whatever they call it. Some of these games, Panama, obviously very good team. Total goes by Panama over 2.5. The last time they played it was 3-0. They don't play a lot. So, I think you can maybe take over 2.5 goals by Panama right here. If you add it to that other parlay, I don't know if I would do that. I just like this parlay by itself, but that pays plus 656. That's interesting. Halftime, full time, minus 225. Not even really worth it. Once again, they don't even give the totals a lot of times on these games. So, or the lines, Asian handicap lines. Haiti's playing Montserrat. El Salvador against Grenada. El Salvador's obviously a better team there. All my Twitter bets cashed. Kaepernick. Nice. And Daryl, good guy. I'm glad you jumped on Australia, and I think you took the over. I think over 2.5. So late goal got you both there. So we're gonna do NRL in about 2 minutes here. Basically, just looking at the end of this. Some of these games. I think some of them are tonight. Haiti Montserrat's in about 25 minutes. I would probably lay off that game. This El Salvador Grenada, I think you could make a case for taking over 1.5 goals. Not even worth it, to be honest. Maybe you take El Salvador halftime, full time at -112. That's definitely worth a play. And the other one, Jamaica Suriname. I'll probably take Jamaica in that game, but whatever. So our guy B Kaepernick, who's on every Friday, his Twitter bets cashed on the UEFA Nations. Remember, you can go follow him on Twitter. You can follow me at the Prodigal Sean, SEAN. You can follow him at B Kaepernick. Just put a B in front of that. And you can kind of get his picks. He's very transparent about his stuff, and he takes a lot of games. Baseball, he's on Total Chaos on Friday nights. He's all over. He bets a lot of different sports. So if you're following him, and then Bill, we're gonna have to need your plays for. England tied it up. Harry Kane penalty. So, how about that? England tied it up. So, neither of those teams are winning the group. And probably, maybe. I don't know. Italy's thing. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so let's talk a little NRL. We're going to look at the ladder real quickly. After last week, the Panthers, Penrith, 12 wins, 1 loss, plus 228 point difference, 5-0 away from home. The hottest team right now is the Brisbane Broncos. They're 4-0 in their last 4. So, and the coldest team is the Warriors, or are the Warriors. So keep that into account when we look at the rugby, because I'll tell you right now, we looked at it a little bit yesterday. And these lines are a little bit crazy. North Queensland. All right, let's stop this from spinning like it. So North Queensland right now is 9 wins, 4 losses with a plus 160 point differential, 4-1 their last 4. And they're going to go up against St. George Illawarra Dragons. The Dragons are down the table. They're 9th. They are right outside the playoff because you see the Bunnies right above them right here. But the Dragons have really bad point differential, and the Roosters right here on 14 points. So I believe it's 22 games. This only says 13, but whatever. So, when you go to the draw, anyway, this is pretty cool. When you go to this thing, they have like that's the state of origin stuff. You can look at any kind of rugby. Anyway, let me just go back to the ladder. All right, so Panthers, obviously, clearly the best team. Storm, Cowboys, Broncos. So the first game we have is England killed a 20-1 parlay. Oh, man. Well, maybe they score late. I don't know. Is there any time left? I'll be honest. When you look at these World Cup futures, if you're thinking about betting England, I would tell you don't. I don't think they're going to be that good. And I think the fixture congestion in that league, and they're going to play all the Premier League is going to play all the way up to like a week before the tournament, I'm telling you, I think they're going to be burned out. I just don't think that team is going to be ready to go. I don't like England in this tournament. I think Southgate I don't think he's a good coach. I think they kind of fluked their way to the final last year. You see them in the big games. They should have beat Croatia. They didn't. So I don't have a lot of confidence in them. And I watch that league all the time. So, you see here, North Queensland, obviously the first game, you see here the spread is minus 13.5. So you see these money lines here. Brisbane plays Canberra. So remember, Brisbane is the hottest team in the league. 1-4-4. Canberra is what the Raiders. Down here, just outside the zone, but the Raiders are 4-1 in their last 5. I'll probably stay away from that game, to be honest. West's against Manly. Sea Eagles are here. West is here. So Sea Eagles are 6-7. West is not very good. Minus 118 points differential. I might take a chance here on Manly, but I'm probably going to look for some better games. Newcastle Knights 4-8 against Penrith. Okay, this game. Let me just find a money line here. Minus 560. That's at 265. So you're going to have to find. So New Zealand Warriors 4-9 against Cronulla. Parramatta against Canberra. Who do the Bulldogs play? So if you do those 4 money line plays right here, just strictly money line, minus 500, minus 500, minus 560, minus 560, you're going to get plus 101 parlay, which is not bad. These teams are site, man. Time you push the back button, it kills you. So you see the lines here. 13.5 point favorite, 14.5 point favorite, 14.5 point favorite, 14.5 point favorite. If you do these in the NFL, and you're betting 14.5 point favorites every week, you're probably going to win, 75%, I would say, maybe more. Pretty decent way to go. I think, full time there. I think, there's a little bit better way to do it, and I've showed you this a little bit. North Queensland, remember last week we were on them, scored a lot of points. They're plus 160 on the points. So, I think you can maybe take this down. I'm going to take it down to 4.5 just because. Why not? Take it down to 4.5. I'll take Penrith down to. You see here 5.5, 4.5, no difference. But 3.5, it jumps, right? So I'll take Penrith down to that. Penrith doesn't give a lot of points. I'm going to take Penrith down to 6.5. But once again, you can go lower if you want. I'm going to go Cronulla down to 3.5. I don't know why. Probably go lower than that, to be honest. You know what? I'm going to take that up a little bit. 6.5. And then Canterbury against Paramount. Canterbury stinks. 5.5, 4.5. See no difference. Then 3.5. It jumps. So I don't know. You're almost better off taking 4. So if you do 4, you do that one. 4.5, 6.5, 6.5, 4.5. Now it's plus 232, which is pretty decent. Let's go. Let's see what the spread ones will be if we just take the spread. So I don't 14.5. I think this will pay a little bit. 13.5. 14.5. 14.5. So that's going to pay plus 12.58. I don't love that. You could take a shot with it. Maybe play a little bit. I don't know. Play. Put $20 on it or something like that. The other ways to go are better, I think. But when you have 4 games like this, and there's other games. Look, I'm not even looking at these. I'm not taking Manly or Melbourne. Melbourne's a good team, but Sydney's not bad. South, the Bunnies, they're not great. But there's 4 games here where it's a really big advantage for one team. And you're saying, okay, I want to jump on that. So, North Queensland scores over 30 points a lot. So race to 30. I'm going to go 120 plus 120. The Cowboys. Let's see if we can get there. I just want to look at the ladder, the Cowboys results. And they just want to give me all this other stuff. Anyway, they score a lot of points. North Queensland Cowboys. Here we go. Here's their last. So they won the other day. Remember 32-6. We were on them. 32-6, 36-6, 36-12, 36-16, 35-4, 30-4. Right? So they lost to Penrith here. They got shut out, but Penrith is, a really good team, right? So the last, since April 23rd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7 games. Every game they won had 1-1 with Kane to score. All right, Foxy, there you go. Make a little money on that. So the 6 of the last 7 games, and every time they win, the Cowboys score 30 points, right? Over 30. So first to 30 against the bad team. They're playing St. George, remember? Remember, St. George Illawarra is they're okay, but they give up a lot of points. For a team that's 6-6 and a minus 73 point differential, it's not great. And then where's the game? It's at North Queensland. So when you look at the ladder and see what the Dragons do on the road, they're not great. 2-4, right? Right here. Not great. So, I think you could do race to 30, plus 120. That might be the best play of the week. I was on that last week. I gave that out. Remember, I gave out race to 30 last week. Race to 35, you might, they've scored 35 points. Remember here, 36, 36, 36, 35. So 4 of those 7 wins, they've scored 35 points. Well, race to 35 is plus 240. That's not a bad play right there. Plus 240. Foxy, only Austria, Denmark yesterday. Yeah, Austria, man. So, that would probably be a decent play. Remember these games, that game is Friday, 5:55 a.m. It's Friday morning in East Coast time. Real early. Some of these other games we'll look at later because these are on the weekend. But, Penrith doesn't give a lot of points. And the Knights are minus 140. For me here, I'd probably stay away from this. Margin betting. I tried to do this margin betting the other time. You see over 19 points is plus 125. Penrith just doesn't give up points. Their defense is really, really good. Race to, it's not even worth it, really. Race to 30 is the only way, and Penrith sometimes doesn't score points. So last week, I think it was 30 to 18. So that's just a different way you can do it, I believe. So, yeah, there's different ways. But that would be my, first glance at the NRL games. Next week, starting next week, we're going to have, try to get someone on that I talked to on Twitter, Adam Roginski, who's an NRL and AFL guy. AFL is pretty good too. So we're going to talk about, some of the Australian leagues. I'm telling you, the last 2 years on this, the rugby, I mean, these parlays are hitting 60, 70% of the time. If you do them, maybe you only do the money line and not get greedy, you get plus 105. Maybe you do, Netherlands tomorrow. Wales, I can't imagine Wales. Wales might not even show up. I'll be drinking stuff, not tea, but like blueberry vodka or something like that, or whatever they drink. I think drink a lot of beer in Amsterdam. Amsterdam's a pretty cool place. I don't know if you've been watching. I saw Ajax and PSV there. We saw Ajax and Young Ajax and Roda JC. It's right down the street from our hotel. We just took we could have walked, but we just took the train. It's like one stop up. So it's pretty cool. Great city. Hopefully be able to get there in the fall at some point. As long as the monkeypox and COVID doesn't start blowing up again, right? So yeah, look, I think there's the rugby, and then there's the other stuff. It's not always just about soccer, and some of the European sports that are a little less well known sometimes are maybe a little easier to play sometimes. We're not going to probably talk about ping pong on here, but if I get an edge on ping pong, I'll talk about it. All right, so make sure you're liking, subscribe, ring the bell. Every day I'll be able to watch all the shows. Just remember, tomorrow have Adam McCullough on Thursday, AM Plus Money again. Maybe LJ the intern. Friday, we got B. Kaepernick who's watching. So a couple of the people that are watching, they'll be on here. Any interest in professional lacrosse betting? Bill likes Tampa Bay Lightning tonight and the under. If you can, I actually cover lacrosse. And some of these things let me share the screen here again. I don't even know what this is. They have Pesapalo. No events found. No idea. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, look, I mean, lacrosse, I think, you can get a little bit of an edge. I like darts a little bit. When I'm over in Europe, I follow it things. So I think Premier League of darts. I think there's ways to win some money betting darts. Mostly parlays and stuff. So that's probably a good way to go. Thank you. I am. See what the line is on that NHL game. Tampa Bay minus 186. Oof. Bill, you thinking maybe like a 2-1 game here, a 3-2 low scoring? Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I think this series goes. I think the thing is Australia to play Peru. That's right. That's what you wanted. I think I'm not a huge conspiracy guy. Ha, that's the joke. I am. But when the one series ends in 4 games, I just see, like, I feel like they want the other series to. I'm not saying it's fixed. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying they want the series to go so there's something to watch on TV. It's already bad enough. There's nothing on the one nights. Basketball plays every 10th day or something like this. I don't even know. They've been off for like a week. It's just basketball is crazy. Like this Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, and then, every 3 days. I don't get it. Just play. Yeah, Bill, the puck line, I think the minus 1.5 is I just saw it. You could play Tampa Bay and minus 1.5 puck line is plus 145. And then you could play Tampa on the 3-way line. If you think they're going to win by 2 goals, you could play them 3-way. I know last night if you had that, you lost because it went to overtime. But if you had Colorado, you won the game obviously because they swept. So different ways to do it. So all right. So that's this week's guest. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing to the bell. Everything can be found on Max Wagers Network YouTube now. Everything. The Max Wagers Network YouTube. If you're looking for these other shows, make sure, the Parlay King or whatever, make sure you're watching it on Max Wagers Network, right? Friday nights, I'm on ESPN. Make sure you're watching me. I'm on the Rangers tonight. AM, I think they're better. They played their worst game of the series in Game 3 and almost won on the road. Plus, I think Shesterkin can seal the series. Yeah, this is a tough game to me. It's a toss-up. I think it'll be a pretty good game to watch. Make sure you're following you got all the shows, Midday Money, Morning Wood, Just Parlays, all on the Max Wagers Network. Make sure you're on the Max Wagers Network or YouTube. You're liking, you're subscribing, so you can see what's going on. And remember, you got the Caesars promo, $1,100 first bet insurance, ATS wins CZR. Go use that. I wrote a promo today. I did a thing for a review of Unibet in New Jersey, and it's interesting. All these sites give free money away. $500 risk-free bet, $500 for the casino. It's pretty cool. Make sure you're taking advantage of it. So, all right. See you tomorrow, and remember, Adam and Cola tomorrow. So make sure you're watching. Thanks.